My father. He came back to Georgia in 1946, direct from 25 bombing missions over Japan. As a decorated radio operator on a B-29 crew, the only person in his 20-man radio class to return alive. He met and married an attractive 25-year-old war widow with a 3-year-old son. He had become a husband. Even in later years, he didn't talk much about those 16-hour flights from the captured islands of Tinian and Iwo Jima to Japan and back. The 4 giant engines roared to life, and 8 young specialists, barely past their teens, settled in for a creaking, vibration-filled takeoff over a dark Pacific Ocean, not knowing what resistance and terror might await them. As the sluggish, propeller-driven Flying Fortress dodged exploding aerial flak, he ignored the cold and fear that must have been a constant companion and focused on the duties that would finish the attack and return the crew safely. It surely took a young man to think of himself as immortal, to endure so fearlessly. The post-war years in the 1940s were busy raising that youngster and a second son 4 years later. In those child-rearing times, the children must have been a priority to him because those 2 sons always felt they were. Affluent lifestyle? Certainly not. Riches? Yes, but of another, more lasting variety. He had become a father. You see, father is a word that denotes continuing acts of love, sacrifice, patience, and of enormous responsibility to wife, family, and employer. It's not just a title. Now that little boy he so willingly accepted responsibility for in 1947 was a busy guy over the formative years, playing baseball, football, basketball, soccer, swim team, diving, wrestling, and even a growing interest in fishing and hunting. You know, in all of those years, while not being able to provide instruction for such an array of sports, he never missed a single game or event. Not in 15 years of dates and times. He was always there. Not to be the abusive, shouting, sideline parent so often present today, but to simply offer the support to smooth over the failures and rough spots, and to give the attaboys that would keep his son's effort maxed out and confident. Yes, he had become a father to me, and performed as such for 72 years. He never missed a day at being my father. Henry Otis Nash died April 17, 2014, at 92, and is interned at the Georgia Veterans Cemetery on the banks of Lake Allatoona in Canton, Georgia. So now, go visit, or at least telephone your father, and tell him you love him and appreciate him. I wish I could call mine. Postscript. Gail gave him the ultimate compliment one day as he was lying on a hospital bed when his health began to decline, stating to him, if O'Neill's father could have picked a man to replace him after his death, it would have been you.